So, how can a photographer know if they are ready to start outsourcing in their business? After all, it can be really scary to let go of control, and I know this from experience, and also let go of some of the money that you've earned to be able to pay for the outsourcing. But as you learned in the previous episode, it's possible to train someone to do tasks exactly how you do them. Because if I'm able to do it, if other photographers are able to do it that are outsourcing, it's possible for you too. And you also now know that you're actually leaving more money on the table if you're not outsourcing yet. AKA, it's pretty much costing you more money in your business not to outsource. When I first started my wedding photography business back in 2011, I made just $5,000 in my business. Now, I bring in multiple six figures per year while working only 30-hour weeks serving my dream couples. I'm here to help you discover that it's so possible to have what you want when you want in your business so that you can create the life you've always dreamed of and deserve. I have a special, exciting binge week in store for you this week. And firstly, I just want to make sure you can kind of self identify on whether all the episodes that are coming out this week are for you. So, if you are a photographer that feels like you are overworked and underpaid, aka not making as much money as you want, or you feel like there's not enough time or hours in a day to get everything you want done, you feel exhausted, you feel like you're lacking energy, your life feels chaotic, you feel like you have no personal life at times, even. When you're working, you feel guilty that you're not spending time with loved ones. And when you're spending time with loved ones, you feel guilty that you're not working. You may also be experiencing body aches from sitting at your computer too much, or like even a short fuse with loved ones because you're just constantly feeling like stressed and overwhelmed. I wanted to say overworked and overwhelmed at the same time. So that's what came up. And you feel like you're constantly playing catch up. And then when you even think about getting support in your business in some way through outsourcing, whether you've tried it or not, you feel this feeling inside of you that everything should come from you. You are the artist, or like no one can do it as well as you can. So you don't even continue down the path of even trying to outsource. Or maybe you're like, outsourcing is expensive. I can't afford it. There's no way I can afford to outsource, or I think it's expensive. I don't even know where to start. So, if any of these resonated with you, even one or two, or I'm assuming maybe even a lot of them resonated with you, then this week is literally for you. I'm just going to call it binge week just for fun because it makes me think of like a really good series on Netflix. So, what I realized is when I was going back through all the podcast episodes that I've recorded over the past 4 years, I've recorded 28 episodes on the topic of outsourcing. Holy crap, that's a lot. And there's so much juiciness in all of them. And the idea that I had and what I want to do is I'm going to actually take all the ones that were like the most popular, the most loved, the most valued, and I'm going to release them one day at a time for the rest of this week so that you can enjoy them and binge them and feel hopeful for your future that this isn't the way that it has to be. Like, it doesn't have to feel like you're constantly on the struggle bus or surviving. Like, success as a photographer can totally feel like even like slow abundant living. It could totally feel that way. And I'm definitely here to help show you that the new paradigm for success for us as photographers is to have an abundance of time while also making an abundance of money at the same time. It's not just I have all these bookings and I'm making all that money. That's not what success has to be. We can also add time to the equation and having a lot more energy and vitality. That could be our new success that we're striving for, and it's totally possible and doable. And so a lot of these episodes, they're pulled from like random years because the most popular ones are kind of just all over the place. It depends on which year I release them, but I just want you to keep in mind that they're pulled from outside of me launching my Outsourcing Made Easy course. They're pulled from in the middle of a launch. So if you're listening to an episode and randomly I'm talking about signing up for OMI today, or today is the last day, or I don't talk about signing up for OMI, just know it's a past episode. And for context, this year in 2024, the Doors to Outsourcing Made Easy, my program where I give you the step-by-step roadmap to cutting back 70% of your working time behind your computer so that you can shoot more, make more money, and work less overall. The doors are opening first week of October in 2024. So keep your eyes out, keep your ears out for that. And if you want to make it super easy for yourself so you don't miss the window, short window of time that the doors will be open, because they only open for a short window of time once a year. And every year I have people messaging me being like, what? You launched it a month ago. I totally missed it. I wish I saw. So, like, make sure to get on the priority list so you can be the first to know. And when you are on the priority list, you will get access to special perks that no one in the public has. So this is like, these are like my VIPs that are like, ooh, I'm interested, tell me more. And if you are on the priority list, I'm going to treat you extra special, extra good. I'm going to give you those special perks, but there's no pressure to like obviously sign up or anything like that. It's just a way for you to gather more information, for you to make the best decision for yourself. And at the end of the day, I just want you to make the best decision for yourself. So um, do that. Click the link in the show notes, get on that priority list. And also, while I have you here, before we dive into this episode, I also have a really exciting workshop that I've put together for you. If you have been feeling all the things that I just mentioned, right? And this is really exciting. It's brand new, it's fresh. I've never done it before. I feel so drawn and called to offer it. And it's so affordable. It's under $50, and it's a workshop style workshop where you're actually going to put pen to paper and get stuff done and get answers and get clarity. So it's called the Reclaim Your Time and Energy Workshop, and it's going to be happening on September 18th, which is a Wednesday. So just around the corner. It's going to be about 2 hours long. And in there, you're going to get clarity on where you're wasting your precious time and energy in your photography business. And you're also going to discover your dream hourly rate that you need to know about so you know where you're going and you know what you're striving towards, and you know how many bookings you need and how much money you want to make and how many hours you want to be spending in order to make that hourly rate. Like, if you don't know your hourly rate, it's kind of like you're flying blind. It's kind of like an airplane takes off, but then it doesn't have like a target, like a city to fly to. So this dream hourly rate is kind of like your pin on the map of like, oh, that's where I'm flying to. Okay, now I can make aligned decisions to get to that dream hourly rate while I'm also saving my time and my energy along the way. So, oh my gosh, as I'm looking out the window, there's a plane flying by. So, this is going to be such a fun workshop. You're going to get so many answers. I'm going to have worksheets for you. You're going to ask me questions live if you need to. I'm going to be coaching people live. You're going to connect with other photographers in the community so you feel less alone. And so, yeah, I'm really excited for you to join this workshop. So, go to the link in my show notes, sign up for it. It's under $50, super affordable. And when you sign up for it, I think what's even more fun is if we just grow the community experience even more. So invite two of your photographer friends, your two closest photographer friends that you would love to go through these exercises with, that you would love to then leave the workshop and support each other continuously with the answers that you received, like, because you are who you surround yourself with. And that way you can create this beautiful little accountability situation for each other. And so that would be such a beautiful way for you to experience the workshop. And I would be so honored to teach you these incredible, like mind-blowing moments of how you can build your business in a way where you're saving your time, you're saving your energy, and you're working towards that dream hourly rate that is just going to make you feel so fulfilled, because you're going to be making really amazing money for the craft that you love doing, which is photography. So click the link in the show notes. I cannot wait to see you in the workshop, and I hope you enjoy this binge week of episodes. And yeah, grateful for you. Welcome back to the pod, photographer friend. I hope you're having a productive or relaxing day with whatever you have going on today, whether you're driving to a shoot or editing or just going for a walk, taking the day off if you are able to right now in busy season. Um, However your day is going, I'm so glad we get to hang out together. I'm so glad that I get to chat with you through your earbuds. And as promised in episode 78, which was all about how to have the work-life harmony you desire as a photographer, I hope you tuned into that one. It was a goodie. I'm going to be sharing with you in this episode how to know when it's the right time for you to start outsourcing in your photography business. And more specifically, I'm going to give you the 3 telltale signs. I always wonder how you say that. Telltale signs that make it clear that it's time for you to, make that big step, make that big leap. So, how can a photographer know if they are ready to start outsourcing in their business? After all, it can be really scary to let go of control, and I know this from experience, and also let go of some of the money that you've earned to be able to pay for the outsourcing. But as you learned in the previous episode, it's possible to train someone to do tasks exactly how you do them. Because if I'm able to do it, if other photographers are able to do it that are outsourcing, it's possible for you too. And you also now know that you're actually leaving more money on the table if you're not outsourcing yet. AKA, it's pretty much costing you more money in your business not to outsource. Okay, so let's jump into the 3 signs. So, sign number 1 that it's time for you to start outsourcing is that you are getting bored of tasks. So some tasks, for example, it could be editing, it could be culling. It just feels like they are really easy for you now. They are on autopilot. You kind of do them mindlessly in a way. And if you are at that point where you find yourself mindlessly editing and it doesn't excite you anymore, or culling, that means that there is a hidden formula in there of how you do it. And that is trainable and that is teachable. And that also means that you have reached a point where you've gotten really good at that and maybe it doesn't excite you anymore. And maybe it's time to let it go. And another sign is that you procrastinate doing them. And usually it's because you are so bored of the task that you're like, it doesn't excite me. I don't want to jump right onto it. Like, I'm just going to wait till tomorrow, the next day. And then that's how work starts piling up, right? And you start getting more overwhelmed. I remember in my business, when I first started my photography business, I would get so excited to upload a session to my computer, go through the photos, pick the best ones, start editing them. And I would literally want to stay up till 4 a.m. doing that, right? And that is amazing. That is part of the journey of becoming a photographer. That excitement is incredible. But then there came a point where I was like, oh my gosh, I just want to upload these for my session tonight, go to sleep. And then the next morning I would be like, oh, I have to cull through it. And it was such a weird feeling because I was like, I would get so excited beforehand. I'm like, why is that changing? And I feel like it's just a natural thing in life where if we are excited about something new, we are learning, we are growing, we are being creative in a new way, it challenges us and we like being challenged a little bit, right? And once we get to that point where we feel like we've pretty much mastered that thing, I think our souls just want something more. Our souls want to be challenged a little bit more. We want to learn a new skill. We want to learn a new skill in our business or in how to take photos and all of those things. Or we want to spend our time doing other things and exploring other hobbies. So there's nothing wrong with that. But if you are starting to get bored of your editing and just sitting there and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm making the same adjustments on every single image. This is so boring, so mindless, right? Or if you are really dreading culling that next wedding, it is time to train someone how to do it just like you do and let it go. Okay, sign number 2 for you to start outsourcing is if you are feeling overworked, pretty much if you are burnt out. So a good sign of overwork is pretty much if you find yourself working, 10 to 15-hour days consistently during busy season, and you find that you're more irritated, you're tired, your health is declining in the sense that maybe you do get sick easier, or maybe your body is hurting more often. Maybe you're not as fit as you used to be, as strong, because you're not taking care of yourself through movement, right? Um, those are the signs that you are just kind of being overworked and overwhelmed. Also, I find that when I have reached burnout in the past, I also lacked inspiration. And that like sucks because as photographers, we love to create through photos so much. And there came a time where I was more annoyed going to a shoot than inspired and excited. And I'm like, what? Like, I thought that I would always love photography. Like, what's wrong with me? And I was like, am I still doing the right thing? But it turned out that I was just so overworked, overwhelmed that I didn't fill up my cup enough to actually get creative. Because as humans, we actually can't really be that creative under stress, under pressure. It just, our brains don't connect the two. So that's why it kind of, you could be feeling like you're lacking inspiration, and you're feeling like you're dreading your next shoot or your next wedding, and you wish you could just have more time off and it finally just be over, right? So that is a huge sign that it's time to start getting help in your business. And another huge sign that you are overworked is that you are missing out on valuable time with family, with friends, on weekends and evenings, because you have to catch up on work. I've been through this for so many freaking years, so many years. And yes, if you're a wedding photographer, sometimes we are going to miss out. I'm a wedding photographer, right? I miss out on things, on like baby showers, this or that, because the dates just don't align. But at the end of the day, let's say we have 30 weddings a year or 25 weddings a year, we still have all those other weekend dates. And because I outsource, any other weekend dates I have available, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to spend quality time with people. But when I wasn't outsourcing, I felt that I still had to work. Even if I shot a wedding on a Saturday, I felt that I still had to put in a full work day on the Sunday because I had to catch up on the editing, the culling, the emails. Oh my goodness, like so many things, the marketing, the blogging, the slideshow creation, there's so many things, right? So if you're constantly feeling like you have to say no to all those things because otherwise you would be even more behind and even more stressed, that is 100% a sign that you are overworked and you need to start outsourcing in your business. Okay, sign number 3, you are not bringing in the income that you need and desire. So you may have hit a glass ceiling in your photography business, wherever you are in your journey. And that usually means that maybe you've capped the amount of shoots you take on a month or weddings that you take on in a season. If you are starting to cap that number in a way where the number isn't really high, like maybe you feel over, if you have four shoots a month and then 4 weddings a month, you already feel overwhelmed and like that's a lot. That to me is still a pretty low number, where if you were outsourcing, that would not be overwhelming at all. And you could probably squeeze in, like, let's say, do 4 weddings and have 8 sessions, and you would feel like you're still not overworked. Like, so basically, as soon as you start capping the amount of like shoots and weddings you can take on, that's when you hit that glass ceiling of how much money you can earn. And the problem is that as photographers, we don't earn our money blogging, designing albums, editing, culling, even though you think you are because you are sitting at the desk, you got paid for the album, maybe that you sold, right? You got paid for shooting that shoot or wedding. So you're like, well, of course I'm getting paid for my work, the editing, the culling, everything, right? But if you really actually did the math on how much time you spend working versus how much income you're bringing in, you're most likely bringing in less than minimum wage per hour. Okay. And this is true. This is so true because so many of my students in my Outsourcing Made Easy program, I call it OME, have done this exercise where they have realized that, holy crap, they were spending their time on tasks that were they can pay someone $15 an hour to do, for example, but they were paying themselves $5 an hour to do because they were so like stretched thin with all the work that they had to do. So if you are spending your time doing, tasks that you can pay someone to do, and then not spending your time bringing in more income through shooting, you are literally leaving money on the table. So if you desire to bring in a higher income, and that is maybe a dream income of yours, or maybe that is an actual income you need to pay the bills, right? It totally depends on what chapter in your journey of your photography business you are. But no matter what chapter of your photography business you're in, if you are not bringing in the money that you need to, number one, pay the bills, and number two, get to your income goals, you have to start outsourcing. That is the missing link. Because as soon as you can start accepting just even a little bit more shoots, a little bit more weddings, you will see your income improve. And outsourcing will cost you way less than how much more extra money you're going to bring in. And what I want to say is that getting started with outsourcing and letting go initially is the hardest. It's the hardest step. It's because you don't know what's coming next. You've never been through this before in your life. You don't know how to let go, how to get help. You were never taught this in school, even learning photography, or if you're a self-taught photographer, you were never taught how to train someone and how to make sure that everything is done well. So of course it's scary, it's overwhelming. So right now where you are is the hardest it's gonna get, okay? And all you have to go, like the only place you have to go from here is up. So once you start outsourcing, even with just 2 hours a week, maybe you just hire a virtual assistant to just start doing maybe your slideshows for you, or like culling or editing, something, even just 2 hours a week. It gets addicting, I promise you. And you start seeing what more you can let go of because you see the time freedom benefits. And then from there, you can see how much more money you can earn through shooting while not being overwhelmed and constantly sitting behind your desk. So those were the 3 signs that it's time for you to start outsourcing. Now, let me break it down a little bit more. So if all 3 applied to you, it is definitely 100,000,000% time for you to start outsourcing stat, like right now. Because once you're on the other side, I promise you, the quality of your life and business will improve exponentially. If 2 applied to you, if 2 of the signs applied to you, then it's also a really strong sign to start outsourcing in your business so that you can avoid hitting burnout full on, meaning hitting rock bottom in your life and business, which happens a lot to photographers, and it happened to me too. And you can also avoid an income glass ceiling. And lastly, if just one of the signs applied to you, then even just one of those is a strong enough reason for you to start learning how to outsource now so that you proactively create workflows in your business that allow you to start giving yourself more free time and also earning a higher income in your photography business faster, okay? Because the sooner you start outsourcing, the sooner you will reach your freedom and financial goals. So if you enjoyed this episode and it spoke to you and you're like, oh my gosh, yes, I need to start learning more about outsourcing. I'm going to give myself this gift in my life and business to, live the life of freedom, of like financial freedom and time freedom that I desire, then I have an opportunity for you. I have a free live training that you won't want to miss. It's a free live masterclass where you will learn the 4 secrets to having more free time and financial freedom while avoiding burnout as a photographer. And the most exciting part is this is live, so we get to interact and you will also be able to ask me questions live. All you have to do is go to sarahmonica.com/masterclass right now to snag your free seat. So listen, I have a limited amount of spots available, so you have to make sure to do it right away to grab your spot. So go to sarahmonica.com/masterclass, and I cannot wait to connect with you and answer all of your burning questions. So in the meantime, have an amazing rest of your day. Make sure to pop in, snag your seat, mark your calendar, and I cannot wait to connect with you soon so you can start learning all my tips and tricks. Yay! Thank you so much for hanging out with me and tuning into this episode. If you got value out of it, please feel free to message me on Instagram at Sarah Monica Photo. That's Sarah no H, Monica with a K, photo, to let me know. I get so freaking energized hearing from others that what I've said has had a positive impact on their lives. Also, make sure to hit subscribe to the Shine and Thrive podcast to never miss an episode. I'm so grateful for you, and I'm sending you all the productive vibes your way so you have the best week ever.